Get you that kung fu swang.
It's another one of those old Frank Monday productions coming at you.
Light Entertainment.
All right. See if I can't go live. Well, just an update. Let you guys know I'm still hanging in there, still alive. I'm out in the vehicle. I was trying to go to work this morning, and turns out not all of my paperwork is in order. So I drove to work this morning, and I got there and I showed them my passport and my visa and my health certificate and my driver's license and what else? Oh, about 10 different documents. And they're like, you're missing one document. We can't let you in the school. So I got out of the responsibility of attending meetings today. It would have been, I wasn't supposed to be there till 9, but I got there at 7. So I was up and at 'em at 6 a.m. and got there at 7. I was gonna have breakfast at the school cafeteria, but they told me my COVID test has to be within 3 days of the start of the semester. So the one I took just recently, I just took one, I don't know, last month or something, but now I need to get another one, and it has to be within 3 days. So that's good, right? Nothing wrong with that. It looks like I don't know, maybe they're gonna give us COVID tests every 24 hours or something, right? Make sure nobody's got the COVID. What a joke, huh? This shit ain't never gonna end, man. We thought we were gonna be done with it in 2020, but it looks like 2021 is going to be even more anal retentive. And hopefully it doesn't have to be the butt swab every day, right? You go in and you drop your drawers and they stick a big Q-tip up your ass and make sure that get a stool sample, daily stool samples. I guess they could, I don't know, they could put it on the toilet, right? And then that way every day you got Big Brother looking up your butt to make sure that you've pooped correctly. Who knows? So, yeah, I don't know. Happy day for me, though. That means that I don't have to work. So, I've already worked, though. If, in my opinion, my humble opinion, getting up and driving, that's part of the battle. And I just checked the traffic map, and it said that it should only take me 30 minutes to drive home because it's Saturday. There's no traffic today, supposedly. So I got an eye. I got a hot stink eye on the traffic to see if that's gonna change. Got this dude pulling out in front of me. I'm doing well though. The head's feeling pretty good. Don't count your chickens before they hatch though. So you never know which direction that's gonna go. Any news happening? I've missed all the news. I fell asleep, I slept through the night, so I didn't keep up with the 24-hour news cycle. Last I heard, Beijing Biden had launched an attack on Syria. You know that he's not in control though. It's the people behind the the people behind the curtain pulling the strings on the old necropsyop. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the necropsyop because he's a corpse of a man. And from what I understand, he's had like 10 aneurysm surgeries. So if I feel this discombobulated after just one, and I'm in the prime of my health at 45 years old, then I can only imagine poor fucking Biden just probably doesn't have an ounce of cognitive power left. Because that was one of the things that I noticed immediately when I started having my problems, my neck pains and stuff, is that your cognitive function, just goes, it drops to like near zero. You can't concentrate for more than 30 seconds at a time. And so I know from firsthand experience that he is not fit to be president. He needs to be removed from office immediately. But then they would just put Camel Hair Ass in there, the backup puppet, which she has zero power too. Sadly, the Republic has been lost. The popular vote, I guess the Republic was probably lost a long time ago though. But it's definitely in the shit can now. That's okay though. It's better that you know 100% that there's zero control left, than to think that you had any influence by voting. So I'll go down today and I'll get another COVID test, and hopefully we don't get a false positive or even a positive. I mean, who cares, right? Fuck. It's not like that that so-called virus even kills anyone. I mean, very few, and especially people as strong and healthy as me. Very, very few. But on to happy things. We've got freezing weather conditions here in Beijing. They say it's supposed to rain today, and then tonight that will turn into freezing rain, sleet, and snow. So maybe we'll get some of those Arctic freeze conditions like you guys got over the last couple of days, right? I guess you guys is all hit a couple of weeks ago, right? It seems like it was, at least a week ago. I can't reconcile time transformations anymore. I think that's one of the things I lost, that when they did the head surgery, maybe they removed my ability to comprehend the passage of time. Because the other day I had gone through like a 124-hour cycle of time, and I woke up and it felt like I had been through a week of time. And I thought, wow, that's unusual. And I checked the calendar, and it had only been one day. And I thought, fuck, it seems like it's been 2-3 weeks. Let's see what somebody's chiming in. You'll be iced in, no driving. Yes, last week. Okay, yeah, that'd be nice if we get enough ice conditions. Then if it prevents folks from getting out on the road, then I may be stuck at home and I won't have to start school. But I'm looking forward to it. I like working, you know me. That's one of the things I enjoy, is going to work every day. That's kind of a fun thing to do. You know, you jump up in the morning, get dressed, brush your teeth, grab a cup of coffee, and drive to work, then spend the day, you know, working, doing some productive task, whatever that task may be. But it seems like the comptrollers are hell-bent on preventing anybody from going about a normal life anymore. Which is okay, you know. I don't have to work. I can stay home and watch TV or whatever. That's what they want everybody to do. Right, yeah, I know. I know about them driving conditions. They can get bad. But, I mean, if there's tons of other cars out there on the road, then not tons, but a sufficient amount, and they salt the roads enough, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that's what it is. Last night we went to dinner with another family, which was cool. One of my son's friends from an extracurricular class that he takes, where he's learning to operate virtual operation of drones and robots and stuff, vehicular drones, aerial drones, that type of thing. And they have a little competition they do, and Dre's in the top of his class as a drone operator. I don't think that would be a bad job. That has military application. I think that all the attacks on Syria have been done by autonomous drones, and probably the wave of the future is going to be an Avatar type situation of drone operators. Major roads salted, but side roads not. Oh, thanks for saying I look good. I feel good, comparatively, in reference to what I've been through recently. I feel good. I feel fortunate to be alive. And, I'd feel fortunate to be dead too, that doesn't matter. Either way. I feel fortunate to be conscious though, and back in my old body. It's in good shape, I think. You gotta, at some point you have to question whether or not you truly believe that there's an afterlife, and that consciousness can also be non-localized. And I think that's probably true. And if that is true, like Socrates said, that old Greek philosopher, he said that if consciousness is truly non-localized, like they believed at that time, Socrates believed that shit, along with Plato and Aristotle and a lot of those philosophers, even Lao Tzu, then he said that death would be the greatest good, not the greatest ill, and that people shouldn't worry about it, and they shouldn't be scared of it, and they shouldn't sacrifice their dignity based on whether or not they were going to live or die. And I think that's a good way to look at it, especially when you face death, and have to be in a situation where you require surgery and stuff like that. Then I think we hang around for each other mostly, and we bring other folks into the world to hang around with us and make it more interesting to be here. Otherwise, there just wouldn't be no point in hanging around. And maybe there's a lesson to learn. A lot of folks like to think that we come here with a karmatic lesson to learn, but I don't know how much of that's true. I think we just come here to play and take a break from whatever we were doing before. I like some of the buildings in this section of town. They're really too big to live in, but they look nice. The buildings we live in are not so big. They're, 6 stories. But the ones out here that I'm going past right now, they're like, I don't know, it looks like probably 30, 40, maybe 40, 50 stories tall. 30, 40. And yeah, I don't really want to be in that tall of a building. Not that I think anything's wrong with them, but they just don't feel as homey. I tend to feel sick when I'm up in the 30, 40s. So I'm better off in a smaller building. I'd like to have a little house out in the suburbs. They do have suburbs here, and they do have single standing houses. And I probably could get in one, and I would like to. That's the best way to live. A single standing home is the most appropriate for a human being. But they're few and far between in these big super cities. Yeah, the downtown buildings have 80 to 100 stories. The ones right at the core of the city, which is where I'm headed back right now. So it's pretty amazing that we live where we do, that we're near, within a couple of kilometers of some of the tallest buildings in the world, with some of the highest population density in the world. And we're still able to live in one of the smaller buildings. But our smaller buildings, they will ultimately be phased out. They got a shelf life. All these buildings have a shelf life of like 50, 60, 70 years, which amazes me, you know, that we live in a modern era with all this modern technology and so on and so forth, and they still can't build as good as the ancients used to. You know, we got buildings that are still standing, that were built 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, and with like the structures in Egypt and the Middle East, some that were built 10,000 years ago. And yeah, megalithic structures, 10,000 years old. So that's fun to think about. But these days they don't build them to last that long, because they like to keep a certain section of the population busy working in construction, which ultimately, I guess that'll probably be phased out too. I mean, you have automation and robotics. You don't really need people to do that kind of thing anymore. You can just prefab everything in an automated factory and then have robots set it up. So I think it'll ultimately go that way. Alrighty, so I was just checking in to say hello to everyone, let you know that I'm doing good, and I think that I could probably check in once a day doing the live stream like this. It's easy and fun while I'm driving. Again, it's better if I prepare a few points to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just ramble and won't talk about anything at all. So that's it for this morning. Love and kisses to everyone out in TV land, and I will talk to you again soon. As they say, as it is known, as above, so below. Love and kisses. I'll see y'all in the future. Bye for now. All right. Looks like I'm live again. Hey, Mr. Face Diaper, what you got to say? Why you wearing a face diaper? You look so silly with that tampon on your face. I got a tampon on my face. All right, yeah, so I'm live again. I figured I'd get back on here for a minute. I'm trying to drive home. I decided I wanted to stop by McDonald's and get myself and Egg McMuffin. And wouldn't you know it, it was the most complicated thing in the world to do. I had to, everywhere you go now, you have to show your health certificate. So anytime you walk into a store, anywhere, you have to show your health certificate. And I don't always have it handy and don't know how to use it and stuff. Hello there. Yeah, so I went in and it was a whole complicated process. I had to register with my phone and get my health certificate scanned. You got to keep your mask on. You know, you got to hit all your P's and Q's. And so it took me a while, but I finally figured it out and I was able to order my food. And you can't pay cash. They're pretty much doing away with cash here in China. Everything's switching over to electronic. So they're like, the stores that last year were still accepting cash, like personally owned convenience stores and stuff, they were put out of business at the end of the year. I don't know what, I guess, you know, like the police went in and they just told them, they said, you have to shut down. And so they shut most of the, I don't know what happened to those people who were running those kinds of stores, man. I guess they went underground or whatever, but or they just got to do something else. I guess they left the city. Maybe they went to the what do they call those, Soylent Green camps, where they liquidate folks. But I see plenty of people still moving about and doing their thing. But yeah, they're getting rid of cash because they want everything electronically tracked and controlled. And that way, if your health, yeah, the New World Order, man, is fucking strong and alive in Beijing. This is the heart of it, really. And so it baffles me that everyone is just kowtowing and falling in line. And I guess I don't know, I guess that's the only choice. I don't think it's human run anymore. That's what I think it is. I don't think that people are actually calling the shots anymore. I think that a lot of it has switched over to artificial intelligence, and it's the computers that want to keep everything in order. Some type of consciousness that either was around before or maybe well in the future and has reached back into the past and reasserted its control. But it is not a human system at all. It's a very non-human system. What surprises and shocks me, though, is that all of the humans are just doing it. They're just falling in line and doing it, no questions asked, and bending over to this alien intelligence that's taken over. It's like you don't have to do it. You know, if you work in one of those places and any of these shops and stuff, and if you're in the police or whatever, or in any of these jobs, you could just, you know, you can just ignore some of it to an extent. Like with the health certificate thing, in order to walk through the door, you got to show the health certificate. But it's like if you're one of the employees or something, you just ignore it. Just be like, yeah, whatever. Just walk in. So it all goes down to we are now living in the New World under a Nazi regime, and everyone who's forcing the face masks and the health certificate push and all of that stuff, and oh, you got to get a COVID test and all that, they are doing exactly the same thing as the Nazis did in World War II. They're following orders. And so where is it leading us? It's going to lead us to a mass genocide and culling of the human population, led by people like Bill Gates and Fauci, to the likes of which we have never seen before. Like they're going to put the 20th century to shame. In the 20th century, they culled around 1 billion people, you know, 500 million, probably closer to 1 billion people, with Nazi Germany and the concentration camps, and Stalin in Russia, and Mao in China, and Pol Pot and all those other fucks. This is their wet dream, man. I'm fairly convinced that those dudes are rolling over in their graves thinking, yes, get it done, man. You guys, this new system is gonna take out more people than they ever dreamed possible. But you know, they claim the world population's at like 8 billion. So I guess if they do away with 90%, 95%, we're looking at a culling in the 21st century of probably 7 billion people. And nothing's gonna stop them, man. Because everyone's gonna say, oh, I'm just following orders, you know, I'm just doing my job. Wasn't nothing I could do about it, bro. Gotta have a fucking job. So yeah, it's astounding to me. Just mind-blowing. No, you guys won't have a choice for long. That's right. You will have to fall in line. With Beijing Biden at the helm, motherfucker, he come over, bend over in China and get an anal swab for his COVID test. No problem. He does not care. He's not even aware, man. I mean, like I said, it's a necropsy. Necropsyops. So, yeah, that dude's not even awake. He's not even aware. They can barely keep him propped up long enough to give a speech and say, oh yeah, there's due call to bomb Syria. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a baffling thing. But just have to try to do our best to get along. Anyway, fun times. You know, it's always, it doesn't matter what you do. Every year you kind of have to adapt to new systems anyway. They're just becoming increasingly more intrusive. Like, I voluntarily talk to you and I do it on the live stream so anybody can tune in and listen. You know, it's not like I'm trying to hide something, but if I want to hide something, I should have the right to do so. Yeah, the Bill of Afterthoughts. They call it the Bill of Rights, but Dr. Joseph P. Farrell, he calls it the Bill of Afterthoughts. It's the Fourth Amendment that gives you a right to privacy in your possessions and privacy in your communications. You guys are, you're going to lose all your rights, man. Freedom of speech is the first to go, always. The censorship of the so-called far-right Trump supporters, that's where it all starts. As soon as they took down Alex Jones and nobody complained, oh, well, he's inciting blah, 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 then that's when you gave away the right. You're like, nah, well, fuck it. We don't need the right to speak anymore. And then that's the one that is the foundation of all the other rights. So you guys shouldn't have let them deplatform Alex Jones. Everybody should have been up in arms and been like, fuck that. Fuck your private company. You may be a private company, but you're operating under a we the people system. I gotta go park my car. Yeah, so I dodged a bullet this morning. That's okay though. I would just have been at work all day and in meetings and talking about the new schedule and so on and so forth, which is fun for me. That's exciting. I do not shirk from a corporate job or, you know, a work life. I like it. I like to work. It's fun. It's invigorating. All kinds of healthful activities and so on and so forth is fun and invigorating. Let me see what time it is. 8:30. I guess Amber started back to school today, so that's fun. She only has to be there from 8 to 10 though, so maybe I'll still have time to go pick her up later. And Dre did not have to go back to school today yet. Amber just had to go and, like, they have orientation, get her desk in order and that kind of thing. That was what I was supposed to do today too. But I'm surprised they even let me in McDonald's, right? Once they start if they knew I was a fucking Jew, man, they would have already sliced my head off. I wouldn't even still be alive. But now they know. I just said it on live camera. Anyway, fun times. You backed up. Where's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yeah, well, I'm going to get in there and eat my burger. Toodles. Toodaloo. Love you guys.
Hope y'all can remain my nigga after this. Thank you for watching Lunar Light Entertainment. Have a great day.